But
I'm agnostic. I was a confirmed member of the Church of England when I was a little youngster. Confirmed member of the Church of England who became an agnostic many years ago. Gave it all up. Don't make any sense to me. Whether it's Islam or Christianity or Buddhism or Confucianism or Hinduism, did I mention that one? Or any of all these isms. Communism, fascism.
I like that. That's well said.
There's something to start your day with.
No man, stand up man. We have a little thing we call the morning talks. We like to talk to people, not just up there, just let people see that we have other reasons.
Oh yes, right.
Sometimes it's very important that we as a people express oneself,
Yes,
so
course.
people can learn from each other.
That's right, yeah.
So, as a person that comes in here, a lot of times I deal with biblical reasoning because it's more like a religious thing.
Yes.
You don't find many people that discuss history because it's one of the most important things that we should learn.
Yeah. Without a knowledge of history, you don't progress into the future.
That's right, because
need
you
a
have
bit
to learn from the past tense
from the
to move to the
mistakes.
future.
Yes,
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. I know. Yeah, indeed, yeah. One of my heroes is, you may not agree, but one of my heroes is Nelson Mandela.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. And one of my favorite heroes, very funny enough,
But I mean, there are
come
people,
from this country.
there are people in
Funny enough, he
people,
come from this country.
There are people in Africa who don't speak that highly of him. I don't know why, but it's, you know,
My
different.
favorite person in this country forever and ever, forever, from I start to learn about history, was Richard the Lionheart.
Oh, Richard the Lionheart, yeah. Well,
I used to love his history.
that's
I
going-
love his history.
All going back to history.
No,
Yeah.
when I started to read about him, it wasn't as a youth. It was, I was a man, my father had a shop,
Yeah.
so I used to stay in the shop, working in the shop.
You're in the shop, weren't you?
Yeah, working in the shop because that's how we live in Jamaica.
Yes.
And I said, me have time, so we start to go to the library and get certain books.
Yes,
I start to read it and start to understand it. Then it takes me back now and we start to read the Bible. Now start to read this book and start to read the Bible. It made me realize, but hold on there. Religion was created by men.
Not by God. Well, by men. But
By men.
yes.
So we start to stop being a religious person and start to just go out, enjoy my life. You know? Come to this country, doing the same thing.
Richard the Lionheart, there's a statue of him outside the House of Parliament, isn't there? Have you seen that? Seen it on horseback.
I always go there and look. That's the first picture I take. So there's this, what's his name in the corner, you know, when you're coming around the roundabout.
Churchill.
Churchill.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, man. So what I do sometimes is that I'm just at South London right there, so it's easy to just come and walk across. It's about 10 minutes walk to go to Big Ben. So more time when I'm not doing anything, I'll take a stroll, you know, just walk from Big Ben to Charing Cross. Very excited.
Yes, what I've been doing for about 40 years, roaming around Westminster and taking photos of politicians, whether it's Tony Benn or whether it's Screaming Lord Sutch or, you know, Jeffrey Archer who went to prison, all sorts of people. Who's the other one? Dennis Skinner. I've seen Dennis Skinner. He's, according to that report, that poll taken, he's going to that Labour's going to lose that seat that they've held for many years, mining constituency. That's going to go Tory, according to the poll. But the polls can be wrong.
That's right.
Can be wrong.
Because the day after voting, that's when it comes.
That's right, yeah. There's another 12 days to go yet. Things can change. And sometimes people are influenced by what they see in the polls. They think, oh, the Tories are doing too well there. We'll kick them, you know.
No, but you see, you know what I have observed just being in this country. That's in Jamaica, you know, the politics is different from here. In Jamaica, it's not politics. You're born, you know. You're born. You're either born.
What was that man, Manley? He was
Norman Manley.
Prime Minister, wasn't he?
Yeah. You know something?
And another one, what, Seaga?
Seaga. Yes, you have Norman Manley. All right. You had Bustamante first. Then you had Norman Manley.
Yeah.
Then you have
Seaga.
no. 1970, yeah, what's the one thing? You have Norman Manley.
Yeah.
Then you have
I forgot. Tell me.
Donald Sangster.
Can't remember him so much. as the
Because he didn't last that long. Because when he, I can't remember exactly, but I know that he passed away.
Yes.
So that's when you Shearer. Remember Shearer?
I think it was name.
Shearer. Then from Shearer to Michael Manley.
Okay.
Then from Michael Manley to Edward Seaga.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
From Edward Seaga to Michael Manley again.
Good Lord, switching. A bit
To
like
Edward
Harold
Seaga.
Wilson and Ted Heath switching around a bit. Yeah. So something has interested me. I've never really put my finger on it totally. The Jamaica was going to break from the monarchy. Has that happened yet, or is it going to happen, or what?
Let's explain. Jamaica.
It wants to be a republic, doesn't it?
No. It's very hard for an island like Jamaica, right, to say that we're gonna break
Little
away.
island, yeah.
We're gonna break away from England, and we're gonna
Yeah.
break away from
What,
America.
about 3 million people? Not many people.
3.5 million.
Fine.
Yeah. So, if you're gonna break away from something, right? Don't you think that if you're gonna break away, then you're entitled to something, right?
Mm.
So, what you're gonna break away from to go to what?
Yeah, you've got to sort it, not it from the frying pan into the fire.
Right, so you're not aware of what's going on around you, but you are aware of what's going on within you.
Yes,
So
yes,
let's
yes.
fix the infrastructure,
Yes.
then we can fix the outer structure.
Yes. So it's not decided yet.
They got independent on these things, but
It's going to
yeah.
happen. It'll happen.
does it stop Jamaica from being a Commonwealth country even though they got their independence?
No, that wouldn't.
There you go. So there's a lot of things got to. It's
Yeah.
just like the Brit exit. If you're gonna have a Brit exit, England gonna work a deal with you.
Mm.
That is why it's taking so long.
Oh,
to
yeah.
this 12 days, like what you said.
We
So-
haven't started yet.
Yes.
The negotiations, they talk about 12 months.
That can't happen.
5 years. A deal with Canada was 7 years.
How many million people in England?
England alone.
UK,
wait a minute. UK,
yeah.
65 or 66 million.
All right, so
I've
we
got
can
the
roughly
figures
say
now.
about 72 million.
Yes.
But they're not gonna give you exactly the count because people come and people go.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is this: if you cannot give an account for the people then that's here, then it's not controllable. And this is what England wants to do. England wants to
Control the flow of immigrants into the country.
plus the in and the out.
We still need people coming in.
That's right.
There are 40,000 shortages of nurses.
That's
40,000
right.
doctors, shortage of doctors. If I want to check up with my doctor, I have to wait a fortnight, and that's good. That is. Some people wait longer.
Very
The
true.
National Health Service, I should be out campaigning for the Labour Party, but I can't make up my mind what I want to happen yet, because I've never seen the situation so volatile. In all my years since a little boy, when my hero was Winston Churchill, all those years on, I've taken an interest in politics. Whether it's Harold Wilson, Clement Attlee, John Major, Margaret Thatcher, all these people I've followed. I've got photos of lots of them. Yes.
Hey, what's that Prime Minister where he had the shortest time in England history?
Shortest time. Sir Alec Douglas.
Give us a little history on him, please. He's a person, you notice they don't really talk much about that guy,
Because he was all over in a flash.
Yeah.
Do you know what he said once? And I tell people this many times. On television, I heard him say this. They were talking about economics, and this was the Prime Minister of the country. He said, when I think about economics, he said, I get out a box of matches and start start putting one against the other. That was his knowledge of economics. I could do better than that, couldn't I? You could do better than that, couldn't you? You know more about economics than getting a box of matches out to sort out who was growing faster than who and how the economy was going, and if goods coming into the country and goods going out, and the deficit and the GDP. Oh, I'm rubbing now. I'm going to have to leave you and see if I can find Kyle.
You imagine that rabbit, me man, me like this guy. I'm enjoying this. You know why?
Very good, yes.
when you research, right, he just gives you his name.
Yeah.
But then there's not much details about him.
You're talking about Alec Douglas?
Yeah.
They rather unkindly used to call him Skull and Crossbones. Because he looked like a skeleton, he had a skeleton face, you know, Skull and Crossbones, you know, the old,
But he's never stopped being a human being.
Of course not.
Ah.
Of course he's a
So
human being,
you
yeah.
see, as a prime minister, they should have given him that much respect, even though he
Well,
wasn't
of course they
perfect,
should.
because
Yes.
he won it because he was lovable. But then you make him to be this person, and he wasn't.
No, nobody's perfect.
What happened?
Nobody's
He wasn't educated to be a prime minister,
No.
but you had the people them around him, which is the House of Parliament.
They couldn't agree anybody else, so the Tory party had to have him because they couldn't agree on who should come forward. I think, wait a minute, it was Anthony Eden that he resigned, he fell ill over Suez operation, and then came Harold Macmillan, and he must have retired, and in came Sir Alec Douglas, who R.A. Butler, Richard Austin Butler, he wanted the job, and he was
I feel that it was Butler who caused that.
You think so?
Yeah, because
Why?
all right, observe.
God, no.
When Douglas, right,
Yeah,
tried,
Douglas,
and
yeah.
he said, "I need help." Remember, he said,
Yeah.
"I need help because I'm not sophisticated enough for
Oh,
this."
yeah,
guy."
yeah.
What did Butler say?
What did he say? Go on, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
So if you're not united,
Yeah.
how can you? So they use him as a scapegoat,
Yes.
and that wasn't fair on him, because when you look at his history, they only give him about a page and a half, and it's like after you read the first two
I
verses.
shall remember this for a very long time, your comments about neglecting Sir Alec Douglas. You know that he resigned the peerage in order to become Prime Minister. They wouldn't, in times of old, you know your history, in times of old you could have a member of the House of Lords who was Prime Minister, but not in the current days of my life.
All right.
You had to sit in Parliament and face the music and questions time. There were all sorts of people, if you look in your history books, who were
What's this guy's name? That used to be in Leighton. What's his name?
Oh, not Sir, what's his name? Oh, good Lord. He lost his seat in Smethwick. Patrick Gordon Walker.
Walker, Mr. Walker.
Yes,
you see him? They should have given him the opportunity.
What, to be leader of the Labour Party?
That's right.
He was a Labour man.
Yes,
Labour
they should have given him the opportunity.
He lost his seat to Peter Griffiths, a right-wing conservative. Conservative.
Here comes the real history now.
Racist. Do you remember the evil slogans? If you want a nigger for your neighbour, vote Labour. Do you remember that?
Okay.
They'd be fined and maybe go to prison for saying something like that today.
That's why when I come down here, I don't really get into much history.
No.
Because these historians, they just honor one side of history. And when you say something to them, just because it's just a little, it's probably just a one paragraph, it's not important.
Right.
Because you don't know nothing about that person,
No.
or who's related to that person that you don't know.
Yeah.
Now, what they fail to realize in this country, England, the people them that's running England, they never leave and go nowhere. They stayed here and they died here and they buried here, and they continue over the tradition. Now observe, very important thing in history. Everywhere there's a Commonwealth country, it's run by England. Now the first thing England always do is to make sure that his people outside of his country are fully aware of her history. And when you bring the history to try to even teach Europeans who never had no English history, they think you're crazy. And don't realize England history, England had the greatest army of modern history, the greatest kingdom of modern history. That is why today England still have the monarchy run this country.
Only,
but observe the thing.
Yes.
Even though we have a prime minister, even though we have heads of government, without the Queen, Yes, no. Without the Queen, consent to the arm. Come on, man, you're a politician, you're a historian, you should know these things. Alright. Can the Prime Minister work out everything without consulting with the Queen? No, he can't.
No, that's no. It's
So,
secret. Oh, yeah.
so observe now.
Mustn't disclose.
Very important to
Can't
observe.
disclose that. Confidential.
Who control the United Kingdom?
We're not saying Her Majesty.
The person who control is the royal family control the United Kingdom as a monarchy.
I'm not sure.
But the heads of government,
She hasn't got that much power, you know, Her Majesty.
observe.
I made a speech here many times, and I've mentioned it to the police also. It is quite in order for me to say the Queen of England could not get rid of the hot dog sellers in front of Buckingham Palace. She hadn't got the power to do that. So what did they do? They put a bill through Parliament, the House of Commons, put a bill through enabling the royal parks and Her Majesty and all her advisors to stop the people pushing trolleys around, selling hot dogs, going into the toilet, wiping the backside, and then serving up a hot dog and charging a tourist £200.
All right, so
And
what's
I
this
saw
now?
them pushing the trolleys down.
So what's this now? Anyway, sorry, by the way, what's your name?
Robert,
Robert Ash.
Ash
Yeah.
Wednesday, Ash and Ash Wednesday.
Oh, nice to meet you, Robert.
I'll see you later because I want to.
No, man, no, don't leave it. Don't leave
Yes,
it.
you
I
will.
want to finish off this now. But observe, even though they pass the bills through to the government, right?
Yeah.
But the government still.
Well, they have to get the Majesty's signature.
You see, so
Yeah, but-
without her signature,
Yeah, but she might not like what she's signing, but she is.
Has to.
Wait a minute, she's constitutionally bound to sign it. There's an interesting case in Belgium going back some years.
Yes.
The King of Belgium. There was an abortion law going through Brussels in Belgium. The King of Belgium did not want to sign this bill
Nakarazi,
because he was against
Nakarazi, right? The king, right? It's Nakarazi, right?
the king.
Because at the time it was Germania, right?
Wait a minute, so what did it say?
The king when you're talking in Belgium, right?
I'm talking about Baudouin, I think.
Baudouin, yeah.
I think
So
it-
at that time, right?
Yeah.
At that time, remember, Germany wasn't Germany, it was Germania at that time.
Oh, German, you're talking about the name change.
So it comes up now. That's when Belgium changed the royal family. Yo! That's why Master Rex is we don't really deal with issue. What
I rest my case. I'll see you later.
When you start to speak, I'll have a reason with you. Because we want to deal with this.
That's a fright me away. Is that going on the internet? Very good.
Alright, so yo, there you go. Exclusively again for Master X. You see a different side of me with history, right? You see, he's a historian, but when I mention certain names and stuff, you know, this is exclusive for Mr. X TV, you know. You see, we can speak English for you. So this year one in the morning, today the 1st of December 2019. We have one more month before 2020. Master X TV, our corner. Ashawama said, big up everybody we watch this. Love.
Big up Ash. Yes, peeps. Yeah, there's Winter Wonderland. That fucks with the signal and that messes with the signal. So I don't know about the lives, but bless her.
Peak. I read the story on Monday, you know. I can read it with him.